Man City's hopes for Champions League football are back on track. That's right, following on an important week for them. And coming at you this week is a bit of a top of the table crunch clash. What am I talking about? Well, I'll tell you all about it next. That's right, folks, back once again with another prediction video. Today is all about match day number 29, that's right, in the Premier League. And we'll get to it in a second. If you're new where you've been, smash your subscribe button. You want to subscribe for Blackburn Rovers, Premier League, World Football. We're going to all hear under one Rooski. That's right, Liverpool look destined to become champions. But what's going to be done about the race for the Champions League? Goodness gracious me, Arsenal look good, but third and fourth seem to be up for grabs. All the way down to 10th place Villa are still in that Premier League race for the top four, who, of course, will take full advantage this weekend. We'll take a look at it in a second. Big shout out to the members and the patrons. You know who you are. What we're going to do now, though, is revisit the last round of games and then kick on forward to this weekend's action. So here we go then, guys. These were the results. And a big win for Brighton. 2-1 win over Bournemouth. Big week for Brighton as well. I went with the 2-0 win myself. Crystal Palace put 4. I said 4 by Aston Villa. I went with an away win on that one. Fulham with a 2-1 away win against Wolves. Went with the home side. Chelsea 4-0 winners over Southampton. I went with a 3-0 win. Forest and Arsenal duked it out to a 0-0 draw. I went with an away win there. Brentford with only a draw against Everton 1-1. Manchester United had a bit of a slogfest in against Ipswich 3-2 winners. I went with a 3-0 win. Man City did get the big massive win over Tottenham 1-0 winners in that match. I went with a 4-2 win. Liverpool with a 2-0 win over Newcastle. I went with a 3-0, and West Ham did beat Leicester 2-0, and I went with a 2-1. Again, this is where I typically would say let's go look at the Super Brew, but we're not going to do that right now. I've got a busy old week and I just can't get over there. This is the table as it looks like, though, the Premier League table. Just keep doing your predictions, guys. Liverpool look destined to be champions. Of course, Arsenal are in second and they're in good spot right now. 6 points clear over Forest, and they're just 1 point clear over City and only 2 points clear over Chelsea. So the top four could have a completely new look at the end of this. Going down, it is still Southampton, and they are doomed. Leicester, Ipswich running out of time. It looks like Wolves might have enough qualities. Realistically, it's two of that bottom three there. Of course, Everton should be safe. They actually is very squished between 16th and 13th, and Crystal Palace are on the up. Goodness gracious me. This is the link for the prediction league. Just do your thing. We'll bring you back up to date with that and more. I think next time it's going to be a little bit tight between now and the international break. But anyway, these are the next round of games. And what did I mean? I mean this. It is an absolute spicy game at the top of the table there with Nottingham Forest, who are currently in third, up against Man City, who are in fourth, I think. In fact, let's wait no more time and let's jump into it. Currently, that's right. Man City are in fourth, up against Nottingham Forest, who are third. Coming at you at the City ground. Nottingham Forest managed by Nuno Espirito Santo, 48 points for the season. They're winners though in the last 3 up against Man City under Pep Guardiola, back-to-back wins. They played each other 16 times since 1994. 8 wins City, 4 wins Forest, 4 draws between the two sides. Last time around at this venue, it was a 2-0 win for Manchester City, who have won 3 on the spin. Again, not against Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest have actually not scored against Man City in those last 3 matches. Coming at you, Man City on the back of that 3-1 win over Plymouth. They've taken on Forest next, of course. Forest on the back of that 0-0 draw at home to Arsenal. Back-to-back home games for them. The bookies, they'll go with Man City. They've really got their tails up right now. I think they're out the Champions League. They're still in the FA Cup, so still could maybe get a bit of silverware. And Nottingham Forest, I'd love it. I really would love to see them in the top 4. I really would. It would give everybody hope. But unfortunately, I think they're going to lose this game. 2-0 winners, which could really shape up the table at the end of this video here. So Brighton up against Fulham, coming at the Amex. Of course, Brighton are on an amazing bit of form right now. 4 wins on the spin under Fabian Hutzler. They are 8th in the table, 43 points for the season. Up against Fulham under Marco Silva. Just 1 defeat in the last 5. They sit 9th with 42 points. They're also on a good bit of form as well. Played each other 18 times in 2007. 5 wins Brighton, 9 wins Fulham. There's been 4 draws between the two sides. Last time around over at the Amex, it was a 1-1 draw back in October 2023. The reverse fixture, a 3-1 win for Fulham at Fulham back in December. Fulham on the back of that 2-1 win over Wolves. Brighton on the back of that 2-1 win over Bournemouth. They only conceded 1 goal in the last 3 games combined. The odds for this one, Brighton should have the edge here. They do with the bookies, and they have it with me. 2-1 winners at the Amex to continue their season and maybe push for that Champions League spot. Meanwhile, Crystal Palace up against Ipswich, coming at Selhurst Park. Oliver Glasner's boys are probably the form team in the division right now. 83% form for them right now. 5 wins at the last 6. They sit 12th with 36 points for the season. Up against Ipswich, Kieran McKenna. It says they're 12th here. What did I have on my graphic? Anyway, Ipswich under Kieran McKenna, just 1 win in the last 6 matches. They're 18th for the table, 17 points for the season. They played Palace 33 times since 1994, 15 wins Crystal Palace, 11 wins for Ipswich, and there's been 7 draws. Last time around at this venue, it was a 5-0 win for Palace in the league back in November 2012. That was in the Championship. The reverse fixture, a 1-0 win for Palace at Portman Road back in December. Ipswich on the back of that 3-2 loss to Manchester United. Crystal Palace with that 3-1 win over Millwall to go through to the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. The odds for this one then, what are we looking at? Of course, Palace are massively fancied. I'm going with a 2-0 win. Glastonbury is in full effect, guys. Meanwhile, Liverpool up against the Saints coming at you over at Anfield. Of course, Arnie Slot's boys are top at the top of the table, 67 points for the season. They're unbeaten in the last 5 matches. They're on 67% form. Up against Southampton, even Juric, bottom of the table here, just 1 win in the last 6. They've lost 4 on the spin. They played 53 times against Liverpool since 1993. Liverpool winning 31, 12 wins for Southampton. There's been 10 draws. Last time around at Anfield, what are we looking at? In the league, it was a 3-1 win for Liverpool back in November 2022. The reverse fixture this season in the league is a 3-2 win for Liverpool back in November. They also played each other in the EFL Cup. It was a 2-1 win for Liverpool as well. They've won 3 on the spin against Southampton, scoring 8 goals in those last 3. They're on the back of a 2-0 win over Newcastle, back-to-back clean sheets, taking on PSG this week in the Champions League. Meanwhile, Chelsea on the back of that, they did beat Southampton 4-0. There's back-to-back games without a goal for Southampton. They've conceded 8 in the last 2. The odds for this one, Liverpool massively fancy. Don't even go there. 3-0 winners, Liverpool to take it to the house. Brentford, they're up against Villa, that's right, over at the Community Stadium. Brentford under Thomas Frank, a 58% form. They sit 11th at 38 points for the campaign, just 1 defeat in the last 5. Up against Aston Villa under Unai Emery, 10th at the table, 42 points for the season, just 1 defeat in the last 6. They played 14 times in 2016, 4 wins for Brentford, 3 wins for Villa. There's been 7 draws between the two sides. Last time around at Brentford, it was a 2-1 win for Villa back in December 2023. The reverse fixture, a 3-1 win for Villa back in December. Brentford on the back of that draw against Everton, Villa with that 2-0 win over Cardiff. They're taking on Club Brugge this midweek, are Villa with, of course, Champions League duties. The bookies for this one, though, Brentford, of course, slight edge with Brentford on this one. Not for me, though. No, I am going for this one. 2-1 winner, sorry. Brentford taking it to the house. Wolves up against Everton coming out at Molineux. Victor Pereira's boys are 17th in the table, 22 points for the season. Just 1 win in the last 4 up against Everton under David Moyes. 58% form, just 1 defeat in the last 6. They sit 16th with 32 points. They played Wolves 21 times since 2003. 8 wins Wolves, 7 wins Everton. There's been 6 draws between the two sides. Last time around at Molineux was a 3-0 win for Wolves back in December 2023. The reverse fixture at Goodison was a 4-0 win for Everton back in December. Everton on the back of that draw against Brentford make it back-to-back draws. Wolves on the back of that penalty shootout loss to Bournemouth in the Cup. They are out. The bookies on this one can't decide. It's on the fence here, of course. Bookies, and I'm going with it as well. I'm going with the draw. Cannot really decide between these two sides. Meanwhile, Spurs up against Bournemouth over at the Fancy Pants at Tottenham's Hotspur Stadium. Tottenham under Ange Postecoglou won 3 and lost 3 over the last 6. They sit 13th with 33 points. Up against Bournemouth under Andy Areola, who have also won 3 and lost 3 over the last 6. They sit 7th right now. Played 17 times in 2009, 12 wins Spurs, 3 wins Bournemouth. 2 draws between the two sides. Last time around at this venue, it was a 3-1 win for Spurs back in December 2023. The reverse fixture, a 1-0 win for Bournemouth back in December. Bournemouth are through to the quarterfinals after beating Wolves 5-4 on pens. Spurs are, of course, losing to lost to Man City, 1-0 loss back in the day. They've also got AZ Alkmaar this week in the Europa League. Realistically, their only hope for any silverware under Ange's second season. Of course, Spurs just edge it with the bookies on this one. Could go either way. I'm going with a 3-0 monster win for Spurs on this one. Chelsea, they're up against Leicester coming at the Stamford Bridge. Chelsea under Enzo Marquesca just won once in the last 4. They're 5th, 46 points for the season. Up against Leicester under Ruud van Nistelrooy, have lost 5 on the spin. They're sitting in 19th right now, 17 points for the campaign. They played 42 times since 1994, 25 wins Chelsea, 7 wins Leicester. 10 draws between the two sides. Last time around over at Chelsea in the league, it was a 2-1 win for Chelsea back in August 2022. The reverse fixture, a 2-1 win for Chelsea at the King Power back in November. Chelsea with a 4-0 win over Southampton on their records. Most recently, Leicester make it 3 games now without a goal, with the most recent loss being a 2-0 loss to West Ham. The odds for this one then, Chelsea massively fancied. Leicester are doomed. 2-0 winners, Chelsea taking a chance at this one. They have a ding-dong affair, don't we? Have Old Trafford, it's Manchester United, it is Arsenal. And of course, Manchester United are on 14th with 33 points for the season. 58% form for them right now, just 1 defeat in the last 4. Up against Arsenal under Mikel Arteta, just 1 win in the last 4. They sit 2nd with 54 points. They played each other 78 times since 1993. 35 wins for Manchester United, 26 wins for Arsenal. There's been 17 draws last time around. at Old Trafford. It was a 1-0 win for Arsenal back in May 2024. The reverse fixture this season was a 2-0 win for Arsenal at the Emirates back in December. They also played it in the FA Cup. Man United going through on penalties on that one. Arsenal with that 0-0 draw against Forest, back-to-back games now without a goal for Arsenal. United on the back of that 3-2 win over Ipswich to make it back-to-back games without a loss. The bookies, they'll go with Arsenal. Manchester United, of course, underdogs. Is this the time? Is this the time? I'm going with a 3-1 win Arsenal against a calamitous. This is Manchester United. Both sides in action in European as well. Meanwhile, West Ham up against Newcastle. Spicy Monday night affair on the 10th of March at London Stadium. West Ham and Graham Potter back-to-back wins, 15th for the table, 33 points for the season. Up against Newcastle, Eddie Howe, just one win in the last 3. They are 6th with 44 points. They played 54 times since 1993. 15 wins for the Hammers, 25 wins for Newcastle, 14 draws last time around over at West Ham. It was a 2-2 draw back in October 2023. The reverse fixture at St James's Park, it was a 2-0 win for the Hammers. That's right, back in November. West Ham, 2-0 winners over Leicester most recently, back-to-back clean sheets. Up against Newcastle, who did lose to Liverpool most recently. The odds here, right now, Newcastle, of course, fancied West Ham, the underdogs, but not me, folks. Back in the Hammers to make it 3 wins on the spin for Graham Potter's boys. That's right, that's what I've got. This is what the table will look like at the end of it. 70 points for Liverpool, Arsenal with 57, Man City on 3rd with 50, and then Chelsea are in 4th. I have Southampton, Leicester, and Ipswich going down. Of course we do. That's pretty much it, guys. Make sure you smash the like, smash your subscribe, of course. We'll woo. That's what we got here, boys and girls. Until then, I'll see you soon for the next one.